Hello everyone, and welcome to this lecture series. Today, we are unpacking Chapter 1 of Indian Astrology, Global Perspectives, Belief Systems, and Theoretical Frameworks written by me Dr. Tejaskar Pandey. The lecture series is based on my PhD thesis in Vedic astrology. For scientific part of presentations I have requested Dr. Rajkumar Vishwakarma to cover on astronomy. Good morning everyone. This presentation has been coordinated and technically assisted by a highly capable and experienced team combining expertise from technology, artificial intelligence, administration, and global consulting. On one side, we have Mr. Ishan Raj, who has completed his B.Tech in electronics and pursued his MS from the University of Texas at Dallas, USA. He is currently working as a senior consultant in Dallas and brings strong international exposure in advanced technology systems, innovation, and digital transformation. His contribution has been especially important in the technical planning, presentation design, and modern AI integration aspects of this project. We are also honored to have the guidance of Dr. Rajkumar Vishwakarma, Chief Information Commissioner of Uttar Pradesh and former IPS officer. He has served as Director General of Police in Uttar Pradesh and has also worked with United Nations forces in Bosnia. Academically, he holds degrees from IIT Roorkee, IIT Delhi, and the PhD in Artificial Intelligence from IIT Delhi. His experience combines governance, administration, cybersecurity, public systems, and advanced AI research. This is product of our own neurofuzzy engine with machine learning and electron framework. No software from market has been used. Additionally, multilingual support in German, Chinese, and Russian is being planned, and the lecture will soon be available through the YouTube channel at HeisenbergCloud for wider international outreach. By background, I am a prominent Indologist and senior academician in social work, holding a PhD in deep cultural studies and social work. I have spent over 2 decades tracking how classical knowledge systems survive, transform, and interact with contemporary societal changes. Let's dive in. I decouple classical astrology from pop culture fortune-telling. I insist we view it objectively as a historic, organized intellectual framework that catalogs human life cycle. I want to begin. Astrology was not just observation. Ancient civilizations used celestial systems to organize society, religion, and identity, providing order. Star movements helped measure time and structure rituals, functioning as a shared social language. The image reflects how ancient observatories served as cultural centers, making the sky humanity's first universal map of meaning. This slide introduces the tension between modern science and traditional cosmic systems. Science focuses on evidence and measurable reality. Traditional astrology focuses on symbolism and meaning. I am describing an ongoing dialogue, not a replacement. Science asks, how does this happen? While symbolic systems ask, what does this mean for human life? The visuals illustrate this contrast, and this continuing balance is what I call a dialectic. This slide focuses on the difference between explanation, science, how processes happen, and meaning, astrology, why events feel meaningful. Humans seek purpose, not just facts, which is why symbolic systems remain emotionally powerful. The image represents this search for meaning, highlighting our deep desire to connect personal experiences with something greater. Astrology is a symbolic language of planets, signs, and patterns, acting as a cosmic alphabet to interpret personality and life experiences. Each symbol represents qualities and tendencies, presented as a language of interpretation, not just prediction. The sky becomes a symbolic mirror reflecting human behavior and psychology. This slide presents cosmic harmony. The universe and human life are interconnected. Ancient traditions saw planetary movements resonating with earthly experiences, reflecting a deeply ordered cosmos. I suggest astrology bridges the infinite universe and individual existence, reinforcing meaningful cycles and a sense of belonging. I introduce the 12 astrological houses. They divide life into key domains, e.g., wealth, career, and function as a cosmic architecture, mapping human existence for organization, not just prediction. This slide presents astrology as a dialogue, not rigid fate. Planetary positions are indicators, like weather, not prisons controlling life. The central idea is that astrology describes tendencies, but human choices shape outcomes, promoting self-awareness over helplessness. The consultation is an interactive conversation used for guidance, not prediction, balancing destiny and free will. I discuss medical astrology, which connects planetary cycles with health and physical well-being. Historically, ancient healing traditions believed celestial patterns influenced bodily balance. In India, this was often linked with Ayurveda and holistic approaches to health. Different planets and zodiac signs were associated with specific organs and body systems. The core idea was that cosmic rhythms and biological rhythms were interconnected. Modern medicine does not accept astrology for scientific diagnosis today. Yet, this framework played a major historical role in traditional healing systems. I highlight how astrology once operated as part of a larger understanding of body, mind, and environment. It reflects humanity's long attempt to connect health with the rhythms of nature. This connects health with the rhythms of the cosmos. I discuss medical astrology, connecting planetary cycles with health and well-being. Historically, ancient healing traditions, often linked to Ayurveda, believed celestial patterns influenced bodily balance. Different planets and zodiac signs were associated with specific organs, based on interconnected cosmic and biological rhythms. Although modern medicine does not accept this, the framework played a major historical role in traditional healing. I highlight that this reflects humanity's long attempt to connect health with the rhythms of nature and the cosmos. We introduce here mundane astrology, which focuses on collective, macro-level events rather than individual lives. This branch studies nations, political systems, economies, and global patterns. Historically, rulers consulted astrologers before major decisions, showing its deep connection to governance and statecraft. In this framework, planetary movements are interpreted symbolically in relation to global trends. This branch expands astrology from the personal level to the scale of civilizations. 1. This version is 5 lines and focuses on the core concepts, which is within the 7-8 line requirement. I will generate the final response. I introduce mundane astrology, which focuses on collective, macro-level events rather than individual lives. This branch studies nations, political systems, economies, and global patterns. Historically, rulers consulted astrologers before major decisions, showing its deep connection to governance and statecraft. In this framework, planetary movements are interpreted symbolically in relation to global trends. This branch expands astrology from the personal level to the scale of civilizations. 1. We explain electional astrology, or Muhurta, focusing on choosing the most favorable timing for important actions and decisions. People consulted astrologers before weddings, business launches, or religious ceremonies, believing certain moments carry more supportive cosmic conditions. This branch treats time itself as having symbolic quality. I present it as a strategic system for maximizing harmony between action and timing. Even in modern society, many families still follow auspicious timings for major life events. This slide highlights astrology as a system of timing and decision-making. We connect astrology with structuralism, the theory from anthropologists like Claude Levi-Strauss. Structuralism argues that societies organize complex reality through symbolic systems and patterns. The zodiac, in this context, becomes a framework for classifying human behavior. I suggest astrology functions like a mental grid for organizing emotional and social experiences. These systems follow internal logic, allowing astrology to be studied culturally and intellectually, rather than superstitiously. This moves the topic into the field of anthropology and sociology. Here we shall discuss Thomas Kuhn's concept of changing scientific paradigms. I describe astrology as an older worldview replaced by modern empirical science. However, I argue astrology remains internally coherent within its own symbolic framework, surviving culturally and psychologically. This encourages us to study astrology historically rather than dismissing it. The slide demonstrates how knowledge systems evolve as societies change their methods of understanding reality. This is fundamentally about intellectual shifts in human history. Discuss Thomas Kuhn's concept of changing scientific paradigms. We here describe astrology as an older worldview replaced by modern empirical science. However, I argue astrology remains internally coherent within its own symbolic framework. Even though modern physics replaced ancient cosmology, it still survives culturally and psychologically. This encourages us to study astrology historically rather than dismissing it immediately. The slide demonstrates how knowledge systems evolve as societies change their methods of understanding reality. Ultimately, this slide is about intellectual shifts in human history. This slide presents a key empirical quantity. 85% of contemporary Indian respondents utilize astrological metrics. This usage remains extremely steady, even across modern sectors like high-tech, corporate, and scientific fields. This demonstrates that modernization does not necessarily lead to the decline of traditional knowledge systems. Despite common assumptions, astrology is integrated into decision-making at every level of Indian society. This high-usage statistic supports my earlier argument regarding the system's cultural survival and psychological coherence. It shows that symbolic frameworks function alongside, not instead of, modern rational choices. The metric reveals the true scale of astrology's social influence in the contemporary world. I explain how astrology works as a coping mechanism during uncertain or stressful times. When people face financial instability or major life transitions, they naturally seek reassurance and direction. Astrology provides a symbolic framework that reduces anxiety by giving a sense of order and predictability. I present it not as a scientific replacement, but as an emotional support system. In many societies, people combine modern practical choices with traditional symbolic guidance. The slide highlights the psychological role astrology plays in helping manage uncertainty. Especially during crises, symbolic systems can provide comfort, hope, and emotional stability. I introduce the classical Indian idea of Jyotisha as the eye of the Vedas, Vedanga Chakshu. The eye metaphor symbolizes vision and insight into hidden karmic timing factors. Traditionally, Jyotisha helped people understand timing, cycles, rituals, and karmic patterns. It was considered a guiding system that illuminated hidden rhythms within life and nature. It played a major role in religious ceremonies, seasonal calculations, and spiritual practices. I present Jyotisha not merely as fortune-telling, but as an intellectual and cultural discipline within Vedic civilization. This slide highlights astrology as an integrated part of ancient Indian knowledge system. I explain the philosophical idea that planets are indicators, grahas, not direct causes. They act like traffic signals, reflecting pre-existing karmic or psychological patterns. Planets do not physically control human behavior, they mirror tendencies. This important distinction separates astrology from simplistic notions of magical causation. It emphasizes interpretation, not direct determinism. Astrology is presented as a symbolic reading system, not a mechanical force. I explore how astrology has rapidly expanded into the digital age, with smartphone apps and algorithm-driven platforms replacing traditional consultations. Technology makes services instantly accessible to millions globally. Birth charts and predictions are automatically generated, democratizing access beyond specialized practitioner. This digital expansion has transformed astrology into a global online industry. The imagery reflects the fusion of ancient symbols with modern technological systems. This highlights the modernization and technological transformation of astrology. Beta. I discuss the commercialization of astrology in the modern marketplace. As it became globally accessible, it evolved into a large commercial industry. I warn that rapid commercialization risks oversimplifying or diluting traditional knowledge into quick predictions or entertainment. The rise of apps, social media, and subscription services has changed how astrology is consumed. Commercialization increases public visibility and accessibility, yet it also presents risks. This slide explores both opportunities and risks associated with turning astrology into a market product. It raises important questions about authenticity and cultural preservation. This slide focuses on astrology as a force that strengthens social and cultural bonds. In many societies, astrology influences marriage decisions, festivals, naming ceremonies, and family traditions. Because of this, it becomes part of the collective identity of communities across generations. The author describes astrology as a kind of cultural mortar holding social structures together. Shared rituals and symbolic systems create feelings of continuity, belonging, and emotional connection. Astrology therefore operates not only at the personal level but also within wider family and community networks. The image emphasizes togetherness and continuity across generations. So, this slide highlights astrology as a tool of cultural cohesion and social organization. I introduce the ethical dimension of astrology, emphasizing it should not promote fear or fatalism. Ethical practice focuses on self-awareness, reflection, and informed decision-making. The central idea is that human beings still possess agency and freedom of choice. Astrology may suggest tendencies, but individuals remain responsible for their actions. This approach prevents the practice from becoming psychologically harmful or manipulative. The slide presents astrology as guidance rather than rigid destiny. I summarize astrology as a symbolic tool for understanding life and cosmic cycles. I present celestial patterns as metaphors to help people reflect on personality, timing, and emotional experiences. Astrology functions as a language of interpretation and insight, rather than focusing only on prediction. I emphasize the interconnectedness between the universe and human existence. Across cultures, people have long believed that celestial movements reflect deeper earthly patterns. I present astrology as a symbolic bridge connecting the cosmic and the personal. Stars and planets form a narrative through which humans interpret identity, destiny, and meaning. The image captures the sense of unity between the cosmos and human consciousness. Astrology reflects humanity's enduring fascination with the universe, whether viewed scientifically or symbolically. The presentation concludes with the idea of universal symbolism and cosmic unity. Thanks a lot. See you for the next lecture. For international audience in different languages, lecture will be available within a month from on YouTube at HeisenbergCloud.